Hey everybody, Steve Spence, owner of Project Mapit. If you have already watched the basic training, you'll be able to fast forward through the first 5 minutes. I'm going to go over how to get to the knowledge base and the chat support. And I'm going to talk about 5 of our partners. So you can fast forward through all that if you've already seen that. But let's start off with just talking about, and I'll keep switching. I'm on a Mac. So for those that know Macs, you know that you can do that. First thing I want you to know is the online support videos here are second from the bottom. If you click on that, it's going to take you to our knowledge base. And our knowledge base is in order. You got your integrations. If you want to brand your map, if you don't like the way we did it, or if you signed up organically, you're going to start branding your map yourself. You can click in here. Any of these red links take you through exactly like short videos on how to do everything. You can click on the home center button right here, brings you back to the home page. So it's in order. So adding pins, this is kind of your bread and butter. This is where you're going to get up and running as step two. It's how you add pins, how you add photos and sync your reviews. Talks about our review platform, our public profile page. If you have someone in your office that's going to be running and managing Project Mapit, just send them this URL link and say, hey, watch these 4 videos, and they're going to be on their way. If you are, this training is specific to sales. So right here, you have your sales team tutorials. I think all of these together are under 45 total minutes. So your sales team, if they're fairly, decent around a computer and stuff like that, you could just send them this URL link along with one other link, the link to the map. And I'll show you where that is in a second, and say, hey, I want you to bookmark the map to your iPad or your tablet or your laptop for those that use laptops, and watch these 6 videos in under 45 minutes. They'd be up and running. So just you'd email your sales team, send them this link, and then on your map itself on the bottom left, you want to send your sales team the link to the map itself, which is right here. So you click this, it says URL copy. That means it's the link to this entire map. So again, if you want your sales team to just self onboard themselves through the sales process, send them a bullet of those 2 links, the link to this, so this right here, and the link to your map. The other thing is that you have the knowledge base right here that you can click on this at any time, and you can type your question here, how to bookmark your blah, 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 bookmark your map. When you do that, it's going to bring up, AI is going to search our database and say, how do you book Project Mapit to your tablet? And if you click on that, it's going to take you to a video. Okay, so there is this chat version as well. We're a small team. We try to always have someone available to answer these. If they don't answer if they don't answer you within 4 or 5 minutes, just put your name and address, email address down there, and your customer success manager will reach out to you fairly quickly. We're pretty quick with stuff like that. All right, so let's talk about our partners. Engage, this deck that I'm sharing my presentation on is an Engage deck. You'll see, I don't know if you can see it, but it's pulsating here. You can click on this pulsating button and then go back to the page. It just gives you a little more insight about what Engage is. Digital interactive presentation, PowerPoint on steroids with analytics. Your sales manager can look at how long your sales team is spending on each page in your presentation. It's very interactive. It'll help you get from point A to point B and pivot to point Z very quickly. So you might be talking to a homeowner about a roof, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, with financing, I can also get a deck. Can we look at decks? And then you could click a button that says decks, and boom, it's taking you to another presentation. It's pretty legit. Demand IQ is your instant estimator widget that you can put on your website. We are actually integrated with Demand IQ, meaning you can put Project Mapit's map, so your map inside a Demand IQ inside the widget. So when a homeowner is on that instant estimator on your website going through, this is my roof, I'm looking for an asphalt shingle, I want a good, better, and best deal, and it spits out, a range. Your roof's going to cost between X amount of dollars and X amount of dollars. You can put a slide in there that shows Project Mapit. So this is why you should choose us. Thanks for asking for the instant estimator. Now you should read all about us on our portfolio of past work. So it's a very customizable tool. It's almost like a PowerPoint that you can build out individual pages within the instant estimator tool. Other instant estimator tools don't have that flexibility and customization. These are some things in order for Demand IQ to really work, your website needs to bring in about 500 to 1,000 visits a month. Your website's bringing in 7 to 10 leads. It's going to help increase and convert those leads 2 to 3 times more, and you're going to close it at a 30% higher rate. Coaching, the cool thing about Sales Transformation Group, they'll do a 1 hour free consultation. It could be just with the CEO, it could be with the owner, it could be with the COO, it could be the sales manager, it could be with the whole sales team, but they will offer whatever training you're looking for an hour for free. Upgrade, finance. My understanding is only 20 to 30% of contractors use financing options. Could not disagree with that more, to be honest with you. Like, you should offer financing on everything. I would not have been able to get my HVAC or my sunroom remodeled without financing. They have a pre-screening of their leads, so it'll tell you, whether or not that person's going to qualify for finance before you even knock on that door and provide that inspection. We're also integrated with Leap with their CRM. So you're in the CRM, you can push stuff straight from Leap to Project Mapit. It's just the pin. When it comes to photos, you can actually bring Project Mapit photos into Leap, very similar to like the way Company Cam works with Leap. So now let's talk about, you know what, I'm on the wrong deck right here. Let me get to the right deck, which is right here. Let's talk about Project Mapit in sales. So this was O'Leary Roofing. I went there, Northern Pennsylvania, met with their entire sales team. I went on a sales call with Stefan Vasquez, who now owns his own company. So shout out to Stefan. He's an owner of a company called Soft Touch Roofing. These are the things we would ask on sales training with your sales team, but you've opted to watch the recording. So the questions we'd ask are, do you use iPads or tablets during the in-home sales? If you don't, we would encourage you to consider doing that, or at least having that available. So if a homeowner wanted to sit down with you, I'll show some stats in a second. What do you do prior to going out to the house? So before your sales reps knock on that door, are you sending a pre-appointment text? Is someone from the office calling? Is there an automation through like a CRM, or is someone sending a templated email that says, hey, Stevie Spence, that's me, Stevie Spence is going to be out at your house at 2:00 on Thursday. We're going to talk about what that is, but I'll share a stat too. I would ask you to walk me through your home inspection. Like, what does that look like? Do you sit at the table? Do you not sit at the table? What does the follow-up process look like? Are you sending a proposal afterwards? Is that from like a roofer or Leap or Sumo Quote or AccuLynx or some sort of proposal tool? And then I usually ask if you're comfortable, if you could share your average close rate. Obviously, some sales reps are doing a little bit better than others. Maybe they're just more veteran and they know how to do it. Maybe they're just a better salesperson. And then we always ask, do you use mobile? But we won't get into that during this recorded session. So in sales, right, and you all should know this, but if you can show a homeowner that everybody is using your company, so you as a homeowner should use our company, that will help you close deals, right? That makes sense. So it's this following the herd mentality. Everybody's using Steve's Roofing Company. I must use Steve's Roofing Company. So how can we show that, and why is that important? So the first thing is just the idea that, you are presenting to a younger population, younger people, millennials that grew up with phones and devices in their hands, are buying fixer-uppers that might need a new roof, that might need a new bathroom, that might need a new, pool, whatever, right? So they're researching your company online, and then as they research, they've already made up their mind 57% of the way before any of the inspections or free estimates come to their house, right? Everybody's getting 2 to 3 to 5 inspections or consultations from 5 different companies, 3 different companies, depending on the market, right? So customers do 57% of their buying process before your reps even knock on that door to provide that inspection for whatever industry you're working in, right? So if that's the case, what are you doing before your reps go out? Which is the reason why we ask the question, what do you do prior to going out to the house? Because a lot of contractors, we talk to them all the time, don't really think about that. Okay. Other things that I think it's very important you understand is just the idea that visuals are very important. Telling your company story is very important. So having some sort of digital presentation, it doesn't need to be 2 hours long. I think that's too long. I'm a homeowner. I wouldn't want to sit for 2 hours. I'd want to sit for 25 minutes with a nice, clean presentation using Engage or PowerPoint or Canva or something like that. Your homeowners, you can get through presentation in 20, 25 minutes sitting at the table. And that presentation can include your company story, maybe a few testimonials. It could include the products that you're using, the materials and building products you're using to build whatever, deck, roof, siding, whatever it is you're building, pool, doesn't matter. And then you want to be remembered, right? We already talked about you competing against three other companies, probably two or three other companies. So in order to be remembered, showing visuals will help that. Um, Homeowners will retain 80% of the information provided by your sales reps if they are seeing it like on a digital presentation. If you're just giving them pamphlets of like a CertainTeed, this is what the Integrity Roof System looks like, and these are the different product brands in CertainTeed's family, they're only going to remember 20% of what they read. And if you're really there not providing the homeowner anything and you're just talking to them, they're only going to remember what you've said 10%. 90% of the information is taken through the brain through visual, right? So I always like showing this. Let's just go with an average of Project Map It and how we can help. Let's say the average, and again, it's different per industry, but let's just say the average install price is $16,000 for your industry. And let's just say each sales rep runs 20 leads a month. So they're sitting at the table, they're talking to 20 different people, and their average close rate's 33%. If that were the case, right, they'd be bringing in $105,000, $600,000, right? Sorry, $105,600. I was a math teacher. You would think I'd be able to say that correctly. Per month, and that'd be per sales reps if they're reaching these goals, right? If you're putting Project Map It in that pre-appointment email, pre-appointment text, pre-appointment phone call, if you're putting Project Map It in the sales process when you're actually at the house, if you're putting it in a proposal or any post communications, we can help you increase 3% or higher. 3 to 10 is the soft spot. Some people say that it's 20%. Some people say it's even more. Okay. So let's just start with 10% higher. So if you're using Project Map It in those 3 points of sales, pre-appointment, sale, opportunities, processes, during sale, and post-sale appointment, they can bring in an extra $32,000 a month for an extra $384,000 a year. That's per sales rep. So multiply that if you have more than one sales rep by the number of sales reps. So like at the very least, let's just say it only helps close 3,000. It's still bringing in 9,600 more bucks a month and $115,000 a year. I'm assuming your sales reps are probably working on commission. Not everybody does that, so I shouldn't assume, but most sales reps are working on commission. You want to make more money as the owner. They want to make more money, so everybody wins. In other words, put Project Map It in your daggone sales process. This is where, I'm going to talk about this, and then I'm going to show you the iPad version and what to do on the iPad. So how to leverage Project Map It. The first thing is you can capture reviews with Project Map It. And there's this video. If you click on this button, you'll have access to this deck. And in this video, it kind of shows you using tap cards. If you go full screen, so if you click on, that's not even taking me full screen. So you're at the house, you're looking at it, you tap card. Anyway, watch the video, but Project Map It has our own review platform where you can tap a card to the phone, do a final walkthrough. This is what it looks like. And at the end of the day, you're getting more reviews. Google looks at reviews as 20% of the pie. So if Google had a pie graph, 20% of that pie graph, Google puts emphasis on reviews. Getting more reviews, consistent reviews, can help increase your SEO and bring in more leads. And it's free, right? You just need to put it in the process. Adding a link to a pre-appointment email. So your pre-appointment emails, we always recommend 2 things. So if there's an aha moment, it might be here. Put a video of your sales rep, right? So just want to let you know you're excited to be coming to your home Thursday. You'll be meeting our amazing sales rep, Steve. We would love for you to meet Steve before you meet Steve. We also want you to learn that we're local, reputable, and reliable. With that, watch the video to learn more about Steve and click on the link that will take you to our portfolio of past work. You'll see, again, you'll have access to this deck. If you click here, it's going to open up a video of me. You can push play. It's just me saying like, hey, I'm Steve. I work for Tar Heel Construction Group. I got a wife and 2 kids. My daughter's a swimmer. My son's a lacrosse player. When I come out to your house, this is what to expect. So just adding that human element could go a long way and help you close more deals. Portfolio of past work, again, put a link that takes the homeowner to your website where Project Map It lives. Next thing you know, they're looking at all the past work that you've done in their area. So beef up that pre-appointment email. If it's a text, again, just to remind you, if it's text, just copy this URL link. Go to like they have if you just Google, I want to shorten a URL link to a short link, it'll take this longer link and make it shorter for you. So that's another thing you could do. So pre-appointment communication is key. Even if someone's just calling, hey, please go to our website, take a look at our portfolio of past work. There's an image here. That's where you go. Or there's a menu button that says, project portfolio, whatever you have. So at the kitchen table, we would really highly recommend you using Engage. That's our number one partner. Our mapping platform embeds directly into Engage. But a lot of roofing contractors and sorry, I shouldn't just always say roofing, but a lot of contractors in general are starting to use Canva is a really good one. It's super cheap. So PowerPoint, whatever it is you're using, Google Slides. Oh, just to be clear, this gentleman, Stefan, he put Project Map It, this just a recommendation. He calls it his closer. The mapping platform is his closer. And he literally puts Project Map It as the very last slide. So this slide deck had 23 slides, and on the 22nd slide, Stefan right here looks across at the husband and wife and says, hey, the last slide's my favorite because A, it's the last slide, so the presentation's over. I know we've been sitting for about 25 minutes, but also you're going to see why you should choose us over your competition. I think you're going to realize. And he swipes left, and the map pops up, and the lady goes, holy cow, is that all the work you've done in our area? And he's like, yeah. And so then he started showing the map. She was looking for two different color. This is a roofing company, two different color roofing shingles. And she points at at Stefan, and she goes, I love this software because it shows me photos of two different colors that we were trying to choose between, pewter and charcoal black. And she looks at her husband, she goes, pewter, right, honey? And he's like, yeah, pewter, definitely. So it really does help close. Add it to your presentation, or this is too long of a video. Let me see if I can make it bigger and fast forward. I can. So you have your good, better, and best deal, but then you could create a one-page PDF like this, and we can create it for you that basically has an image of the map where local, reputable, reliable. Click to view, and when you click that button, it's going to take you to your map. So that's another way of adding it to your proposals. And then just so everybody knows, like putting on your signage at your local trade, garden shows, put a QR code to your map that lives on the website, make it go to your website, always drive traffic to your website. But QR code, instead of scan the QR code, it could say, scan QR code, portfolio of past work. Put on yard signs if you're a company that puts yard signs in there. Maybe put a QR code on your truck wrap. So pretty cool ways. Door hangers, if you're a canvasser, maybe put a QR code on that door hanger. All right, so this is where we're going to get into whether you can fast forward or not. You have to decide as a team if you're going to be leveraging Project Map It on a tablet. I know some of you might be using laptops. I'm going to take you through the tablet version. Just understand you can do the same on your laptop. But are you using Project Map It? Sales reps I'm talking to now. So I'm talking to you, sales reps. Are you going to be using Project Map It just in sales? So just showing the homeowner how badass you are, very similar to the picture of Stefan sitting at the table with the map on it. Or are you going to be using Project Map It for sales, but you're also going to be using your iPad to add new pins? You're going to add photos on your iPad. I stuck up my thumb and the thumb came up. Are you going to request reviews from your iPad? If you're going to just use it for sales, which I'd say 90% of our contractors do, you can use it for sales. There are two things. I'm going to show you just how you bookmark it to your, I'll show you a little bit how to bookmark it here. I'm not going to get into how to use your iPad to take pictures and add pins. If you want to do that, you can do that right within here in the Help Center. Scroll down and look at the mobile experience, and it tells you how to add projects to your phones. So this is phone, but the phone would work just the same as an iPad, just to be very clear. Okay. All right. So if you are going to have your sales team and they're going to use their iPads to take photos and add new pins to Project Map It, just go to this page and it'll take you right there and it'll show you step by step how to add it, right? I'm going to actually take you through this anyway, to be totally honest with you. But what I want to cover is this. So if you're only going to use it in sales, all you really need to do is bookmark the map itself to your iPad. Okay. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to need to get the link to the map. And again, we've covered this, but the link to your map, once you get your map, just click on this link here and that's the link. So you're going to open this up on your iPad or on your Android tablet and you're going to bookmark that link to your tablet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually jump over here to my iPad and I'm going to take you through the steps. So Steve's Mac. I've tested this. I believe that it should work. All right. So the first thing you're going to do is, for me, I'm going to use Safari. Some of you might use Google Chrome. I'm not sure. So if you click on this, the first thing you would do, so I'm kind of showing you where you would go to log in, but you're not going to need this. Again, you're only going to need the link to the map. But if you wanted to log in and you wanted to get the login, you would just go to Project Map It, right? You'd go to our website. You would say login. And this is the thing you would bookmark to your screen. So at this point, I would bookmark this to my screen. And to bookmark anything on an iPad, it's a little different on an Android, but on an iPad, you're going to click this button. You're going to scroll down until you see add to home screen. You're going to call it, whatever. You can call it whatever you want at this point. I'm going to say PMI login, like that. And when I click add, it's going to actually add it right there to my screen. So now if I click on that, it's going to take me to the login. So that's what you would do if you were going to use your iPad to take pictures and to add pins and stuff like that, because you would have to log in. Does that make sense? You'll see like how easy it is to log in. So I can just click on this and use Face ID, and in seconds, I'm logged in. So it took me, 10 seconds to log in. Again, you're probably not, so this is where you would add a project, you'd start taking pictures and crap like that. So I just want the URL, right? So in this scenario, let's pretend that, let's get out of there. So now the owner of your company or whoever just sent over the URL. So now I'm going to paste that URL. I'm going to open it up in my email on my iPad or my Android, and I'm going to go to the map. Now notice I'm just at my map. There's no login over here on the left-hand side or anything like that. Once you get this on your iPad or your tablet or your Android, you're going to click this and follow the same rules. You're going to add to my home screen, and let's just call it this. This is our, whatever, you can call it whatever the heck you want to call it. So now I just have our map. So now if I'm just using this on an iPad and I have like other, maybe I'm using a Google slide or a Canva deck to do this. Even so, if you have a presentation on your iPad, what you could do, right, is you could just embed it within that presentation. But that's how you bookmark it regardless. Okay? So now that I'm in here, what I would like to do is show you how how sales reps leverage Project Map It. The first thing is, let's talk about what's over here. So this is just by default, your company or Project Map It, when we help build your map, if we did help build your map, we put these default pictures. This is just by default. So if these 3 pictures weren't here and these 3 thumbnails weren't here by default, it would just be this white space and it wouldn't look good. So these are just called featured projects. So by default, that's what this is. But let's call this the gallery view. Okay. Over here, you've got these clusters. Understand, like I can take my finger. I'm using an iPad with a keyboard, so you can see me doing this on an iPad. But like if I just took my finger and hit that 158, it's going to zoom in. Okay. The big thing I want you all to understand is up here in the top right above the logo is refresh map. It'll put the map back to its original state. So like sometimes you might be diving in and you want to, instead of having to pinch and zoom out like I'm doing here, and then it's too much pinching and zooming and then I'm screwing up. All you have to do is like I don't even know what I did. So refresh it, and then the map is back to its original state. So literally all I'm asking you to do is hit the refresh map button. That button right there. Okay. So that always brings back to the original state. Reviews, it's a two. It right now currently it's a two-step process. So the first time you click on the pin, it's going to bring up all of your reviews. We're fixing the Facebook integration, so hopefully within the next month you'll be able to bring in Facebook, or a month and a half. Right now it has Project Mapit reviews, we're our own review platform, and all the Google reviews. A lot of people feel like they have to hit this red X. You don't. You could be all the way down here. Just click anywhere outside the white box and it'll make it go away. Remember, I said it's a two-step process. The second step is now the map changed to only show pins with reviews on it. A yellow pin means that it has a Project Mapit review. And again, I don't need to hit that red X. I can just click outside of it. Okay. Obviously, this is a Google review that has it. Let me zoom in there. I clicked the wrong one. So there's the Google review if you scroll down to the bottom. So on a pin, this is good for you all to know, you can have videos, press to play. So I can watch a video. I can shift right. So on an iPad, I don't need to click that. I don't need to click this button. I can just swipe. Okay. So you have unlimited photos. You have that video. Think about this, everybody. One thing to think about is getting video testimonials of a homeowner. How cool would it be to be able to go to a video testimonial and the prospect that you're sitting at the house for can actually listen to what a homeowner is talking about with your services? It can have a project description on it with backlinks. This red backlink will take you to the roofing company Tampa Bay's website. This will open up a phone number right away, and then the reviews. I'd say like 5% of our customers actually write job descriptions. It's up to you. It just depends on your company's bandwidth. You don't need to, but it's a nice added effect. Okay. So I'm going to refresh the map again. That's reviews. So just to summarize reviews, it's a two-step process. The first step is just the scrolling bar of everything. And then it's, when you click off, it's all of the reviews, and then you can just refresh the map. Media, when I click on that, it's going to change the map to only show projects with photos. So no matter what pin I pick, there's going to be a photo of that project. A lot of people don't use that as much. Search by location as a sales tool is very important. So let's talk about this. If I click on this, open, close, open, close, close, open. Okay. If I go in here, I can search anything. I can search a city, Annapolis, Maryland. Click it, right? It's going to go into Annapolis. Siri's talking to me. I can click an actual address. This is my address, so I don't mind using it. 224 Cloister Road. Feel free to send me, I'll send my wife some flowers. Click that. It's going to center the map. So if you put an actual address, it'll center it right in here, right? So that's my house. Another thing you can do is you can even put like I live in Maryland near the Naval Academy. I can type Naval Academy, right? The other thing you can do is, if you come here, I don't know what this means. I don't know if I should have done that. Let me refresh the page because I don't. That's some AI thing going on, I think. Another thing you can do is you can click this little red arrow-looking thing, airplane-looking thing. It's a geolocator. So what it does is it essentially geolocates exactly where you're sitting. So you don't even have to type in the address. If you're sitting at the kitchen table at the homeowner's house, you can click on that. You can say, I want to allow location services, and it puts you right in the middle. So now I can click on that and be like, yeah, I just wanted you to know we've done, these 7, 8, 9, 10 houses around you. You can even pinch and zoom out, and we've done even more. Pinch and zoom out a little more. There's a 5-mile radius. There's a 10-mile radius. You know what I mean? It's pretty nice. So think about this as a sales tool. What I would recommend, right, for you all to do is the night before, maybe open up your Project Mapit portfolio and type in the customer's address that you're going to be going to, or the 3 customer if you're running 3 leads in a day. Type them all in and see if there are houses around you, around that house. Because then you kind of have an idea. You'd be like, if you go here, if I choose that, that's pretty good. And then and I know if I zoom out a little bit, I know that there are going to be more pins, right? As I start to zoom out more. So that's kind of a nice thing, right? Like you can do that. Do your homework, in other words, if that makes sense. The last thing I want you to know is here services. This is where you can, if you put the search for services option there, most of the time it's already by default there. I can type in a color of shingle. Sorry. There we go. Like weathered wood or kitchen, whatever, and it'll pop up all the different weatherwood brands. I have a Certainty and ICO, right? I can type in kitchen. I'm not having success with my kitchen, outdoor kitchens, kitchen services. So you can type that in. The thing I want you to know is on an iPad, I'm just using my finger now to scroll. I could just scroll and pick one. I could just say, okay, let's look at a coastal blue roof, and I click on that. This is where I want you to know that the gallery changes based on what you're picking. So now I have coastal blue roof images. If you look at the top, it'll tell you here there's 13 total projects that are coastal blue. These are the 13. I don't know which ones have photos on them, but I do because of the gallery view. So these 3 projects have coastal blue roofs, and in seconds I can show a homeowner some pictures of a coastal blue roof. Okay. I think that's about it. I'm going to stop sharing here. Let's go back to my deck and see if there's anything else that I missed. Sorry. So that's your map. I showed you how to do it. Did the demo. Oh, this is the other thing. Did the demo. Yeah, that's it. So I hope this helps. That's not going to bode well for me to see some people like this for while I do my final statement here. So here's all I will say, and I want to be very clear. I'm the owner. I've been doing this. I was the first ever hire. I had since bought in 2020, but I've been working for Project Mapit since 2018. We're the longest running interactive mapping platform out there that I know of. We have only a couple competitors. There's enough contractors to go around. I'm not going to crap on any other competitors. Our competitors all say that they're an SEO tool, which I don't particularly think they are. I guess that's kind of crapping on them. I didn't mean to do that, but we are a sales tool. If you use us in sales, and if you're a company that doesn't sit down at the kitchen table, right? So if you look at the leveraging part again, this one right here, maybe you don't sit at the kitchen table. Okay, well, still add it to your pre-appointment, add it to your proposals. That alone will help you close deals again. I encourage you to definitely have an option to sit at the kitchen table. In that pre-appointment email or phone call, maybe you give the homeowner the option. Hey, we have a PowerPoint, we have a digital presentation that tells our company story. It takes about 25 minutes. Would you like us to do that, or would you like us to come in, assess the problems, leave, send you talk to you a little bit at the house, then leave, and then send you a proposal? Give them the power to choose. I think as a homeowner, again, I'm not a roofing contractor or a contractor by trade. I think in general, I would like the option. I think it'd be pretty cool if the person said, hey, or if it's in an email or they call me and say, hey, these are your options. We can sit at the table or not. That would be pretty cool. You're giving the power to the homeowner. But if you're putting it in sales, you will see a close rate increase, 3 to 10% higher. If you put it in all 3 points, it's going to be higher than 3%, I believe. So people buy us and then they don't leverage us in sales, and then they want to leave a year later. We have like an 88% retention rate, so we're doing well. I'm not saying people want to leave us, but people that do want to leave us, it's because they're not putting in their sales, and it's not hard. Adding a link to your appointment communication, your pre-appointment, that could be automated through a CRM, right? Your proposals, just we'll create a one-page PDF, or your company creates a one-page PDF, and boom, like that is automatically updated in real time, and you don't ever have to do it again. Just stick it in every proposal. So use us in sales. I promise you'll like it. Thanks so much. Take care.